President-elect Donald Trump has selected 80-year-old retired Army Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg as his special envoy for Ukraine and Russia. Kellogg served as National Security Council Chief of Staff during Trump's first term. Kurt Volker, the U.S. Special Representative for Ukraine negotiations during the first Trump administration, says the president-elect made a good choice.
He's an experienced military leader, I believe a three-star general, which is quite substantial. He has a close relationship with President Trump, so they're able to communicate directly.
Volker says Kellogg's job will be to implement Trump's vision to quickly end the war in Ukraine.
It is to convey the messages from President Trump, convey the reality on the ground and the messages back from any parties.
As co-chair of the Center for American Security at the America First Policy Institute, Kellogg co-authored a plan to end the war in Ukraine. He recommended that the U.S. begin a formal policy to seek a ceasefire and negotiated settlement. Under that plan, if Kyiv agreed to enter talks with Russia, the U.S. would continue to arm Ukraine. To persuade Russia to participate in the negotiations, Kellogg suggested delaying Ukraine's membership in NATO in exchange for security guarantees. He spoke to VOA about his plan in July.
That does not mean that Ukraine surrenders. That does not mean they give up the territory.
Kellogg criticized the Biden administration for not doing enough to support Ukraine militarily. Evelyn Farkas, the Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Russia, Ukraine and Eurasia during the Obama administration, agrees.
He has rightly put his finger on some of the weaknesses under the current administration and previous administrations, meaning we weren't strongly enough in support of Ukraine in terms of our material support. I think that the Trump administration is off to a good start in terms of appointing someone who's a capable expert and then, also highlighting it as an important priority.
John Herbst, the U.S. ambassador to Ukraine from 2003 to 2006, says Kellogg understands that Putin's aggression in Ukraine is a threat to American interests in Europe and worldwide.
He understands that ending the war in a way that ensures, as Trump wants, Ukraine's survival is important to the United States.
Former Trump National Security Advisor and now outspoken Trump critic John Bolton says that Kellogg does not have enough experience for the job.
He doesn't have a sense of the conflict himself. He's an opponent of NATO in many respects.
David Kramer was the Deputy Assistant Secretary of State for European and Eurasia Affairs during the George W. Bush administration. He sees Trump's proposed national security team as a hopeful sign for Ukraine and Europe.
I think the choice of General Kellogg, for example, as a special envoy is a very hopeful sign. Senator and hopefully Secretary of State Rubio also understands the situation well. The National Security Advisor Michael Waltz is a very strong pick.
Kellogg is expected to work closely with Waltz, who praised him on X as committed to bringing the war in Ukraine to a peaceful resolution. Tatiana, Vorozhko, VOA News, Washington.